Bow wow.
Welcome to DogStar. We are Sun Dogs, and today we have the pleasure of sitting down with the legend, MN Motor. How you doing?
Hey, yo, how y'all doing? We're doing good.
Well, we're doing good as well. We're really, really appreciative of you coming through and giving fans a look behind the curtain.
It's not a problem. It's a pleasure.
Hey,
appreciate y'all
likewise.
having me.
let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. We want to go back to your origin story. So where'd you grow up? 218, is that Duluth?
Yeah, so it's like the whole area code. So I moved around a little bit. So I've lived in most of the towns up there.
Okay.
So
Were your parents into music at all growing up?
Yeah, both of them actually. So my dad is a published poet. And he's been in some bands and stuff. My mom was in some bands. She was actually in a band with, that Making a Murderer? That case in Wisconsin about that Stephen Avery, I think was his name.
Yeah.
So the dude who put him away, she was in a band with that dude.
What?
Yeah, so when the whole thing blew up, he sent her a copy of the book that he wrote after and all that. He moved out to New York and...
Whoa.
And as a singer, as a bassist?
She's a singer, yeah.
Okay,
both of them were singers. I mean, my dad he plays guitar, drums, sings.
Oh, holy cow.
So it's in the family for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
And was music playing around the house growing up? Like what records or the radio?
So my mom, I lived with my mom, so she mostly would listen to like 70s music and stuff like that a lot. She liked to get funky. My dad listened to everything from heavy metal to Buddhist monk. I remember being there just hearing chanting, and I'm like, okay, but on the way here we were just listening to Megadeth.
You're right. So he's into it all. Anything, any cool sound.
Yeah, so I pretty much was exposed to a lot of everything except for country, which I think that's probably why it's my least favorite genre.
Yeah.
I'm down to work with country people and stuff like that, but
everybody's got...
Not a huge listener, yeah.
Right, I mean, yeah, like you're saying, working with country artists, maybe putting the one rap verse in the country song, but you wouldn't do a whole country album yourself, even under a different name.
No, I've had people...
Bucky Johnson.
I mean, if it was a collab album with somebody or an EP or something, I'd be definitely down to do that and maybe just to explore it because I just like making music, you know?
Right.
That's why it's usually a lot of different sounds. It's not a lot of the same thing if you listen.
That is true. Eclectic.
Yeah.
Yeah, when do you think your path started headed towards you doing music, either writing or performing?
Yeah. I mean... I always mess around with music. So as a kid, I remember we got a electric keyboard, and I basically stole that thing from out in the living room and took it into my room, and I messed around. And there's 99 program songs in there, so I had the ones that I liked or thought sounded cool. I'd mess around with those or just make up my own little tunes and stuff. But
yeah, how old do you think you were at that point?
6 years old when I started doing that, but I probably wrote my first thing.
Yeah,
probably 15 years old. It's for this girl.
Okay. The legends are true.
Yeah, so I heard. Plus, I had heard somebody. I think it was my oldest brother. I heard him. Somebody said he rapped at this party when he was all drunk and he killed it. So in my head, I'm like, if he can do it. Man, I'm gonna try. Let's see what's going on here. And then I liked this girl, so I was like, all right, wrote this little thing, gave it to her. She liked it, so I was like, maybe I could do this music.
Did you give it to her a poem, or did you record it?
No, it was like a song. No, I just spit it for her
like a
right there. Yeah. I remember I think I would write little things for other girls before, but it would be little notes,
right?
And give it to them. But that was my first
out loud.
Yeah. So, my first real omission of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd make making the little mixtapes for the girls, the selection of songs,
right.
Stuff here.
And you said that song was at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Did you do like band or choir at all in school or church leading up to that?
A little bit of band, but it really wasn't like anything super useful. So I tried to get percussion because my family is traditionally percussionist. Okay, my brother was, my dad was, even my grandpa was a drummer.
Whoa, cool.
So I was trying to be in percussion,
Right.
but no. Where'd they put me?
Clarinet?
The baritone.
Saxophone?
No, it's like a mini tuba, a baritone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically it's like the tuba's little cousin.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, why you put me here? I'm trying to hit stuff.
Right.
But it like made me learn that I was musically talented. So that's where, because I still can't really read music. I'm not even going to lie. Like, but I can hear it and I can,
So if we gave you that instrument right now, I'm not saying we have one.
If I around with it enough and I like, if you gave me like emulate this song, I could figure out the things and then.
But like a call and repeat with a keyboard.
Yeah, I don't play a lot of them, so it'd probably take me longer than somebody who's already familiar with the instrument. But I can mess around a little bit.
That's so cool. Yeah, I just wanted that.
My band teacher hated me though, because everyone, like when you're smart, you don't really want to go home and do the homework either. You try to just do right in class, or you just don't do it at all because why take it home? So for band, I was like, why take it home? I'd take it home to appease the band teacher because she's trying to make me take it home to practice. I'm like, I'm not going to practice.
I mean, that's a big
I'm going to come in here for my one weekly lesson, and then the half hour, whatever it was, where you get to like, because she'd hate it because I'd have it figured out. But every time, so I'm like, I'm not going to go practice.
And you were hauling that back and forth as a kid?
Baritone, yeah. But I thought the band teacher was hot, so that's the only reason I joined band. And then I kept trying to quit, but then she literally, because I'm like the only baritone player, because I was at like Renshaw at the time, so a small school. Well, so she's coming to be like, please stay in band. So as a like a 5th, 6th grader,
as a confused
crush on the teacher, I was like, oh yeah, fine for you. I'll stay in band for you just a little bit longer, like.
Oh my gosh.
But I think 9th grade was like the last year I was in band.
Okay.
So right about,
And then how did the love poems turn into like lyric writing? Did you have an English teacher that
I've written some poems and stuff too, but that's like I wrote raps more before like anything, but then I had to do poems in school.
Right.
Okay.
So now I was like, I might as well just actually do them because it's the one thing I like kind of like doing. And if my mom's written poetry too, like, but my dad is like, he's still getting stuff published. Like he just got his second book deal for his he's doing his thing. He got that second wind, like came back at it. So, he might have got some of that motivation.
Yeah.
But,
exactly. That is.
But, like, it's just in the fam.
Yeah, we want to know if you had any other rapper names going through. Like, did you have a MC name when you made that song or anything?
It's always been Minnesota Motor, but it never was meant to be really. It's just so I was at this party rapping because I used to like do the like freestyle all the time, like just whatever, like felt like I just had to prove that I could actually do some stuff, like
Yeah.
So some girl was like, I bet you don't even have an artist name, blah blah blah, and I like in that like spur of the moment I just turned because I was like, I can't not have an answer. I'm like, yeah, dude, Minnesota Motor. What you mean? And I just rolled with it.
Yeah, hey,
like some people have a crazy like name
story. Somebody
story.
gave it to
I just
them.
literally made that up on the spot, and it just kind of stuck.
Hey,
but
there you go.
I feel like MN Motor is just a lot easier to put places and just for everything but some people don't even I don't know what they think the MN stands for.
I mean, it could be anything.
Right.
My name's Motor.
Right. What albums like were you listening to it kind of in that era? Like what were you really influenced by? Like whether it was like rap or other genres?
I listened to a lot of like it was my brother said it just the other day when I was like we went and saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like my dad,
at US Bank Stadium,
cousin,
Wow,
so
sick.
On the way there though, like my brother showed like everyone one of the songs I used to just jam. I think it was the original, the I Don't Wanna Know. Like,
oh, right.
The,
the
OG one. So like when that came out, that's when I first really started hearing stuff. But I was listening to like that, but also like 50 Cent and T.I. Like I think my first hip hop album I had was Urban Legend. Yeah. And I listened to it. I burned an extra copy, and then somebody wanted to trade me for The Massacre and Get Rich or Die Trying. So I'm like, yeah, sure, Lil D, I already have another copy. Yeah, when everyone, when CDs were like their own currency, like everyone's making their stuff, crash a couple computers with LimeWire, FrostWire, all that. Yeah.
Oh, the good old days.
The heyday.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, any music videos that you really remember from that era?
Not really.
Yeah, no worries. Just curious. Along the lines of like influential albums,
Right. Yeah, I didn't
really
have cable during.
I was poor growing up, so the only time I watched like cable and music videos was when I was at like friends' houses or
word.
PBS kid. That's why it's dope. I get to be part of that board.
That's awesome.
It all comes full circle.
Exactly,
Keep Arthur. That's what I'm
circle.
telling you.
Oh, Arthur's a good one. AARDVARK.
Yeah.
When was your first time on stage? Was that through band, kind of being in front of a crowd, or I guess when was your first time solo on stage?
Yeah, so I think 18.
Okay.
So I had, because I was always around older people growing up. So there was this group of people, the Get It team. So it was Samson and a couple other people, but Samson was my big homie from that, and so I was coming up, and they saw that I was doing stuff, but he went to prison for a couple years, but he got back out like right when I got back from my my army training and stuff.
Oh, word.
So then I linked up with someone. I had recorded a couple songs with them, and then he heard it, and he's like, yo, I want to start doing music, and I'd always wanted to do music with him, so we got like a song or two done. And then he threw a show at, it's actually where, I mean, you might not know, but some of the people know, it's the old, it's where Mexico Lindo is in Cloquet now.
Oh, in Cloquet.
It's been like 5 other clubs before it was a restaurant, but it was Cheers, I think was the name of it then.
Nice.
And that was the first. That was you guys performed those 2 songs or those few songs?
Yeah, because I had a couple of my own songs, so I had my own set, but I performed that with him too. But so he like put me on the show, but I knew I was gonna mess. It's crazy. It's my first show and my first like mess up, but I'll never forget it because I practiced and practiced and practiced, and it was this one line, and no matter how much I practiced it, I could not get the word. So I like was going into it while I was performing and already obviously nervous. It's my first time. Yeah. And so I go to start like messing the line up. I'm like, I'm just going to make up something else. And so I just like caught myself halfway through and just acted like I did a pause. So and nobody even knew, but in my head, I'm like, I never want to like, because nobody like, at least for me, nobody's harder on me than me. That's why I don't really care about a lot of what people say because
I
already
heard it a million times.
Yeah, I probably heard it even. Like
and harsher too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like I know. So I hate I always try to be prepared.
Yeah, definitely. And you learned that if the crowd doesn't need to know everything. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, they know now, but it's all right. They can know now.
What do you do? Obviously, rehearsing and choreographing stuff. Yeah. But what do you do to prepare for a show?
Pretty much just like from everything I literally is at the gym. I'll work it into that. I'm rehearsing my stuff when I'm doing my cardio.
That's so smart.
Like when I'm doing it through the whole workout, I'll listen to other stuff too that I like, or sometimes I'll listen to like speakers, like Les Brown or even like Earl Nightingale, just all sorts of business speakers and stuff. But I would. And
you got a big mirror,
a little bit every day.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's mirrors at the gym. There's otherwise taking videos and just like
studying the footage.
Yeah. So it's just wherever and however I can, really, because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yep. That's what they say.
Words of wisdom.
You know?
So we only got 3 minutes left. And sorry to ask you like a super trippy question, but I feel like it'd be good
Life's
before the break.
trippy.
Do you think you would have joined the Army if your friend would have came back and started making music with you before you joined?
Yeah. So he had been like, I was still just kind of like, I wrote a couple raps and I like freestyle sometimes. I hadn't even like thought about being real serious about it or even like doing shows. I was like, yeah, I'm rapping now. Like, at that point when he went away, and I didn't even know I was joining the Army until I joined, really. Whoa. Just like one day, because I was tuck shopping for my junior prom. And my brother was in, and he never, because he knew nobody, like everyone was so like thrown off when I like told him, yeah, I'm joining the Army. Like, so yeah, I just was like, hey, how do you join? And so in the month between, because I turned 17 June 1st.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was like in May when I was tuck shopping. So like in that month, got everything ready so I could go on my birthday down to, they call it MEPS. It's like getting ready. You do what they call the underwear Olympics. You know, they do all the physical. Yeah, they make you like do a bunch of weird movements to make sure that you're, you know, everything.
Right.
Able-bodied.
The whole nine. Yeah. So Wynn did that on my 17th birthday, enlisted. Not even, and I just thought I'd have that like time until I graduated to go to my basic, but they're like, there's like 4 of them in the room, and they're like, hey, so there's a quick ship in like 11 days. You want to go? What? And me being I was always, that's why, be humble. So me being a hotshot, I was like, yeah, I got this. Watch this. Y'all go. Yeah, you don't know about me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go. So 11 days after that, I was in Fort Knox, Kentucky, knowing nothing about anything, going to be where I was trying, because my MEP scores were high enough where I could get almost any job. It was like 89 on a scale of 99.
Okay.
Like, shout out to drunk, hungover, 17-year-old me. Still pulled it up.
Pulling it up.
Well, not drunk. He's hungover.
Right.
Don't do that, though. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, that's a wild life decision to make so quick. And then, it's just like a 2-week transformation. It's like, boom, didn't know I was boom, now I'm
So, yeah, it was just, it was a trip.
That's wild. Well,
I probably would have just joined anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. We've got to take a break here in like 25 seconds.
Make sure you follow MN Motor at Motor218 on Instagram, Motivation on TikTok and YouTube, MN Motor on Facebook, and at Minnesota Motor on Twitter. Follow the show at DogStar Podcast.
Follow the show.
We'll get into the evolution of the songwriting and more here when we come back.
Oh, wow.
We'll be right back.
Love.
Oh, wow.
Welcome back to DogStar. We are sitting down in the midst of a very enlightening conversation here with MN Motor, learning all about the influences, the early influences, and the tenure in the military as well. What were the biggest lessons you learned from your years in the military?
Well, the first lessons I learned very, very in depth were attention to detail and teamwork is key. But those are things that have actually been really important, even in life outside of everything, because the devil's in the details. And really, you do more as a team. You can build faster together, better. So that's important. I mean, hard work is a good thing.
Totally.
But
good lessons to learn.
Work smarter and harder.
And are you done with your years or whatever?
Long done. Yeah, I did like a 4-year stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been out longer than I was in.
Okay.
At this point, yeah.
There you go. And then you were talking about teamwork. Who were the people you worked with when you released that first album?
The Motivation? So that was pretty...
In 2019.
Yeah, that was a pretty bare bones team. So like the situation was... So that was right after I had caught my felony, and I lost like literally everything I owned, and just like just how it happened to be and everything. So I was, it was a pretty crazy time. So I was actually staying with my brother for a little bit, and I heard about this internship at a studio called Solace Studios. They're no longer, but like So I was still going to music business college at that point. So
where is that?
Full Sail University. So I was doing online and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
And part of it was crazy because a bunch of stuff that they were saying that you should go do and like figuratively was like stuff that was actually being like presented to me. So they said you should like something you could do is try to like find an internship. And so that I just like saw on Facebook somebody was sharing it that they were looking for interns.
Wow.
Whoa.
So I hopped on that, and then doing that, like in a 6-month period, that whole like studio, like running, like management and owner, whatever, like changed. And I ended up being the person that was running the studio.
Whoa.
But it was a like crazy thing because, yeah, it's only me. And so you hear Northwood, Northwood Beats, it was me and him.
Wow.
Under this club, the Red Herring, which was in itself is a whole like collection of stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly, like, but it was detrimental to making motivation. So what I was doing, I was helping with that studio, but I was also helping because the owner of the building owned like both spaces.
Okay.
So it was his bar, and he like owned all the stuff for the studio.
Oh, interesting.
So I was upstairs helping work the bar. I was stocking the bar, bartending, which I had never bartended, but I was just doing it so I could do that.
Right.
And really, it's not like I was even like making a ton of money with the studio, but I just saw the opportunity to be able to make, because, yeah, like taking 4 years off from music because like 2015 to 2019, I didn't release anything.
Right.
But that was when I was going to business school, music school, and like stockpiling up beats and just learning. And so that, because I had done so much stuff, but I had nothing to show. After opening for people like Tech Nine Twist, a bunch of people, and doing like being able to have a bunch of dope opportunities.
Yeah.
But still nothing was coming from. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Totally.
And two, I was trying to, go stack up some money.
Yes.
Right.
And yeah, like one of the last things, like a $50,000 flip gone wrong, and then I lost everything. So I'm like, all right, that way is not gonna work. But God put it, new. He's like, you need to actually like,
right. Can't just get it for free.
You already know what you're supposed to be doing. Like you got to get serious again.
Yeah, back on track.
So yeah, and even though I just wasn't releasing music, so all that stuff that I was doing on the side, even it came into play, and I could use that moving forward. So motivation, like I was telling y'all earlier, like with the production and stuff, I didn't know about that stuff, but once I did, that's when I started putting it together that way. Nice. So I would be running events up at the bar, and after they were done, and even downstairs in the studio, because of the way it was ran before, that would be it turned into an after party by default. So everyone was always trying to get into that studio space after the bar was closing, because they thought it was just going to be and sometimes it was, a lot of times it was. But so either if I could get them away before that or after that died down a little bit, then I was recording.
Nice.
Or I'd have to like do that, and then I was like, technically like homeless at the time. So I was sleeping at the studio. Like, so I was just really just doing whatever I had to do to make it work.
Yeah.
And then so enough stuff was going on, and then just everything got so busy. So I basically had to choose between like trying to actually do the stuff that the schoolwork was telling me to do to try to learn the degree, or like actually do it. Yeah. Right. Or just do it in assignments. Like, so I was like, so I dropped out of the school, which is the right choice. Cause you know how the universe works out, like everything works out in the end. Right. So after doing all that, Full Sail still called me like a year, whatever. So they offered me a free ride for a media communications certificate, which I just completed, like, I think in October, November this last year.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Like, but they all was super dope. They offered to take away all my debt from dropping out. Like, shout out to Full Sail.
That's how you get people to graduate college right there.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. God is good, and that's what, when you know that you're supposed to do something, you got to do that. And when you know, see, it's different if you don't know. But once you know, and that's in your spirit, when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you'll feel it. And that's what I mean. You got to know better and do better. Otherwise, stuff's going to start getting thrown your way to try to redirect you back where you're supposed to go. And, you know, I've been hard-headed enough times where once all that happened, I was like, all right.
Right. Like, got to take advantage of these things.
I'm gonna take what's given to me, even though I'm basically, like, even as an artist was starting fresh, because nothing in 4 years, no releases, no performances, no nothing. Like, basically either nobody remembers you, or they never heard of you, or they're not going to take you as seriously as they were before, which is, you know, part of it. But that's fine. Whatever. I'm here. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So, and that, you know, people come back around.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When did you start really embracing that mentality and the mentality that is motivation?
Throughout the hiatus. I mean, like, they called me the motivator in the Army.
Okay.
Like,
just because the attitude,
ones, that was one of them. Yeah, I've always been like a more positive person. Like, I'm like, people say I had 2 moods, happy or mad. Like, but that's why that's part of it too. And like, if you have to look at things a certain way, like, I know I got a temper, so I have to look at and analyze things, because I know I'll act a certain way, and it's not good. So if it's not good for me, I can't have it around, including that. So I got to keep myself in check. That's another thing that the Army, like, helped me do. It helped me make a switch for things, you know, and a filter. So, like, is it going to help me? No? Then I probably shouldn't invest too much time into it.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that I was involved in after I got out of the Army, in between that's its own thing. So I'm definitely not, I don't always listen to my own advice either. I'm human, but it's a process, you know?
Totally.
Definitely.
When you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Definitely learn. Yeah, learning the hard way.
I wanted to ask about the earlier days of releasing stuff, you know, 2019, 2020, and the preference of like singles over these projects.
Yeah.
Was it hard to choose one or the other at first?
Well,
to do just, you know, a bunch of singles. I know you released all the singles off Motivation on SoundCloud, or all the tracks off Motivation on SoundCloud as singles.
Yeah, because I started making the artwork for that. Was like that was after I dropped Motivation.
Okay.
See, I always kind of have this low key beef with SoundCloud because of the way that like, even if you do at first, you just couldn't monetize off it, and then when they did, it's like it's like I already pay DistroKid, and they'll send my stuff everywhere. So why are you trying to charge me a weird amount just to have it on your platform?
Yeah, DistroKid
like,
definitely.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not. My listeners are a lot. Some of them go on SoundCloud, but not a lot of them. I didn't really build up that platform.
But you said you were doing the album art for those as well.
Yeah, so I mess around with stuff. So yeah, like the media communications thing is about basically like making media and portraying messages and stuff like that. So I was up to like 4 this morning making canvases for my Spotify.
Oh, whoa.
So yeah, so when I got all of them, but like 3 tracks I got left to do. But so when you're on Spotify and you look at my song,
a little like GIF or whatever.
Videos and stuff. Yeah.
That's cool. That's
and I tried to do my own like little thing with it. So I mean, you know, take
it out.
Some time to check them out.
MN Motor on
that's MODER, not like a car.
Right. And he's the sharp looking guy with the big M, little N, space, big MODER. Just because there's a few on there.
Right, and the thumbnail may be him with 2 of him on his shoulders, depending on the platform.
Yeah. Right. There's some with a suit. There's some with the Gemini mentality. There's some with the
Oh, you're Gemini?
Yeah, June 1st. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gemini gang.
Birthday's coming up. I wanted to talk about kind of in the realm of the lessons you learned that have carried over from your military experiences, like addressing your own strengths and weaknesses. And
that's important.
And I mean, you seem like a very intelligent guy, a very motivated guy. And at what point did you realize that you can't do it all yourself, that you kind of got to let the producer make the beat? And when did you focus in?
Pretty early on.
Okay.
I mean, So I've always been kind of business minded, like that's so. But I didn't always have the means to do it.
Right.
So that's where that kind of like, if I have to do it, I'll figure out how I can do it myself until I can find someone better to link up with.
Okay.
But you know, you got to make yourself useful to other people too in order to even do those things. So you got to take time to even learn how to be useful to other people. So through doing that, if you don't know how to do something, at least you can be resourceful and help them do it better.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you were really scraping to get that going with doing everything for that bar just to have the studio space.
And I had people stealing some of my tips. I ain't even gonna drop the name on that, but they know who they are.
Yeah, can't win for losing. But yeah, no, you made it happen, and then I'm sure having the studio space was a good bartering chip for you to kind of get some help on the music.
Was that Mid-Coast Music or?
Yeah, so that's what I like started the umbrella under. So that was a label I had been building, and I built an LLC for it. Everything.
Really?
Yeah, so I got like a catalog of decent amount of production and stuff already from some like well-known producers, but more recently I've been trying to focus more on like building actual relationships with the producers I know, mostly in like Minnesota and stuff like that. But I still have them and I use them from time to time, or sometimes I'll even like, you know, pass on a few just to let other people use them.
Heck yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to resell them or nothing. I am a firm, I hate the scamming thing. Like I actually just exposed somebody trying to scam verses that they bought from like Anno Domini and Legion Beats, and they were trying to, because they do deals with like artists and stuff. Yeah. So
making me nervous.
Yeah, so they were trying to resell those as their own, like, yeah, we acquired these verses, like, come cop them from us. Yeah, like, when it's like, because, and there's so many, like, and I even reached out at first, like, I commented on the thing, and I'm like, yo, just so you know, this is illegal. Like, this is from blank and blank. Anno Domini and Legion, I tagged him even in it, and he deleted the message, like, hopped in my inbox talking all crazy, like, but I reached out to Anno Domini and them personally, got responses from them. I reached out to an author at iHeartRadio Canada who I got a different article published with him exposing a scammer trying to sell Tory Lanez verses.
Right, I think we read that article.
Like, yeah, and he hit me back and he's like, let me know what you figure out.
Right.
Like, because I don't, like, quit making Minnesota look bad. Like, for one, that's why everyone thinks there is a lot of scamming and people just trying to money grab, and like that's why people don't really, you know, it's hard to trust people within the space, and a lot of people don't trust people, and that's why there's usually, you know, why it's so political. People are only helping out who they know.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think? Oh, sorry.
No, continue.
Do you think artists are vulnerable to scams because they're dreaming big?
Oh yeah. Yeah, even like everyone's been God at least once, you know, like even the best of them. But you always want to, like, this could be it.
Right.
This could really be it.
You got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You got to spend money to make money.
If a label person or anything really wants to do anything with you, they're not going to ask for no money. They will want to pay you. That's how they're going to hook you in. So if they're saying we can get you some deal, you just got to pay us.
Probably
Don't do it.
They're duping you.
Well, most of the scammers really suck. You can just look at the email address they send it from. Like, Capital's not going to hit me up from Capital Records ANR1@gmail.com. Like, they got a website that they can send emails from. And you know, like, you talk to, like, you know, and even then, they'll make up a phony site that's like one letter off, so you gotta watch, or like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different ways that people be trying to finesse, and it's like, as a creator and as someone who, like, you know, genuinely like loves the creation of music and just like, you know, understands the importance of it, it messes up a lot of things, and it, you know, gives it a bad look.
That is true. Yeah. Do you, with the artists you have collaborating, whether it's producer or a fellow rapper, do you tend to look for people with ethics or morals when it comes to, you know, a good conscience at least? Because you can be a hard worker, but you can be a mean person. But
yes, I've been around, like through different, even just like different things in my life. I've been around a lot of different kinds of people and different things, and so like I feel it's important. Like it's important to speak on things that you've been through, and but if your whole brand is only focusing on negativity, like I've turned down a lot of people before. I'll go on some of the stuff, but it's not like a for sure thing. I have to actually and if you're not even a good person and you do bad business, I ain't gonna do business with you anyways.
Exactly.
But if you if I'm not feeling the song, I'm gonna let you know I'm maybe you should send me a different one, or nah, this ain't it. Or if it's like I might be like, toss me a couple bucks and I'll hop on. I'll throw something on there. But it's not like, and it all, even then, it's like something that's when I have to mess with you as a person. Yeah. Like if I know that you're a good person and you're just, because I get it, a lot of people is with the image.
Shoot. We gotta take a break. Sorry to cut you off.
Worries,
this is
DogStar.
We'll be right back.
Wow.
Welcome back to DogStar. We are in the midst of talking with MN Motor, and
yes.
We, so like you said, Motivation dropped in 2019. There was a handful of singles, there was one single I found. Then we had Continuum, which was another album, 7 tracks in 2019. Again, a few more singles with a lot of them with Northwood.
Yeah.
Keep working with him.
Guy, shout out Northwood.
And then after Lotus, a single with Northwood in October of 2020, Sweet Dreams came out. A 12-track
R&B,
Then June of 2021, a few more singles, including 1 Minute Murder, Love Letter with Northwood, and Maserati, came the Three's Company EP.
That's right.
Yes, and that's 3, technically 4 tracks, in September of 2022. The radio at 3 tracks.
Yeah. 3.5. It's
and
like 2.5, man.
One of the tracks that your representative sent over today is a track off that Three's Company EP. That is Red Light. The first track.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that track? Like, where'd you get the beat? Did it start from the beginning?
I'm trying to think of the... Where did I?
You didn't make it, did you?
No.
Okay.
I've made
the credits on Spotify. I looked at it and thought about writing it down. I was like, this won't come up, but no. So that's my bad.
Right.
We'll put it somewhere. But found the beat.
Yeah, I've had a beat. It was in that vault that I was talking about. So I got hundreds of songs like written, ready to go. But you can never have too much music,
right?
But
you gotta have
I had
up.
that. Psycho, I actually wrote another track on the EP. I wrote like 2015, the first version of it.
Whoa!
So, but Red Light was probably
impressive.
like a 2019 track that I had picked up at that time because I'll still grab a few.
It's like, that's a great thing.
I got some producers that other producers I'm working with too that have worked with some high profile names and stuff. So that's dope to even just be talking to them and stuff.
Is that something you look for in a beat just because of the mutual marketing when you drop it, or?
I just I love music. So if I feel it, because I like making songs about all sorts of stuff. So I'll make a hard rap song one, and then I'm dropping a love song the next one. Anything in between, and that's why I like doing features a lot too, because you can kind of see you get a piece of other people's thing, and you can kind of do something to complement that.
Totally.
But
I like that mentality.
So Red Light, and it's just fun. It's a fun little catchy track. So it's talking about curving people really that. For whatever that they do, either coming on strong or coming on wrong. There's a lot of no's out there in the world.
Exactly. Yeah,
but you got to get through the no's to get to the yeses.
Oh god.
So what was going on in your life when you were writing that, if you can recall, or was it just kind of
it just was kind of
because it's not it's a very playful song.
Yeah. I mean, I've always, I've been single more of my life than I haven't been, but that's by choice, So I like meeting new people. So it just kind of comes from being in the dating pool, kind of like Maserati too. Like just my own experiences throughout, my time.
A culmination of this stuff.
Yeah,
and then
really is.
you can
like,
just...
And there's people that are like, because sometimes I'll tell people if I said something about them in a song. So other times there's people I want them to figure it out for themselves. Or there's other ones that I don't care if you know or not, because that's just my expression at that time.
Like
and you were
friends
just a
or
part.
people of the
friends,
past,
enemies,
lovers.
Lovers, ex-lovers, yeah, like. But it's never like a whole song, like,
Right. You're not Taylor Swift.
Everyone always is like, write a song about me. I'm like, well, I could do it. You know what I mean? It's just like,
it'd be better if I thought
I'm not trying to give any, unless that's like my wife or something. But
They're like, write a song about me.
I ain't got a ring, so why am I dedicating that much time to like writing about one person? Unless
it's like, how about you inspire me first?
Unless it's like my mom or something like that, because I appreciate my mom. She's always held it down. So
very cool.
Like that would be the one person I would write a whole song about, as far as when it comes to that, or but. Otherwise, it's a lot of different things. Even talking about homies, it's different homies that I'm talking about, or different women, or different experiences, and just like piecing things together.
But you're not trying to put anybody on, No,
I'm not trying to like put anyone on blast either. Like, I mean, there's some maybe, but that's we're all people, so we have but. In the grand scheme of things, no. I'm just telling my story and expressing things and just calling it how I see it.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, the music will continue to reflect that. The more you learn, the better you can call things how they are.
I think it's that perspective that draws fans to your music. I, as a fan, look forward to what you got going on the horizon. But we got another track that your rep sent us,
which is later in the timetable. Too,
yep, so a single from Veterans Day of 2022, "Shooting Star."
Yeah,
and that again, almost a completely different vibe than Red Light.
Yeah,
not entirely, but you know what I'm saying. And what can you tell us about that beat?
So that I do know the producer of that one. The producer's name is Devise.
Local cat or
no? That's what I mean. I just used to go on, not SoundClick. It was some of it was SoundClick, some of it was BeatStars, some of it was like the Airbit stuff, and I just like through all the networking and stuff that I've done. So I don't remember exactly how I got the beat from him, but it was one of the beats that I had. Yeah, that's another one where I had that beat forever, and it's different. It's kind of got like a low key, like a little EDM thing in it. Not huge, but that's a little bit. And I got plans to do like different sounding projects like EDM and stuff.
Definitely.
But, so I had that sitting there, and I wrote that one like 2021, 2022.
Oh.
Yeah, so that. But I don't know. I just heard it that in the one time, because I'll scroll through beats and I'll just do writing sessions.
Yeah.
So when I got to it that one time, it just hit me that way, and that's motivation. So I'd be trying to do more and more of it. Like I got plans. I got a lot of plans for releases in the future. Focusing on that. But that was one of them, because I felt like I have Maserati, 1 Minute Murder, and the tracks that are on Three's Company, and they weren't necessarily they weren't not motivational tracks, because there's game in all of them.
Right, there's hyphy.
Yeah, and like you can learn things from listening to the tracks. Even like I sprinkle game in every little thing, but this is more like I like doing motivational things. I feel like there should be more positive music in the space as well, because it's you got to have good music too, but it's also got to be have a message sometimes. Sometimes it's good to just get down and have a good time, but sometimes, you got to use your voice for a reason.
Yeah, that's probably the business mindset there. You saw the gap in what's out right now, and that's definitely, something that's needed. I would agree.
If you could set the scene, set the mood with Red Light and Shooting Star for a listener, what's the best situation to listen to Red Light in? Cruising or getting ready to go out?
To it, while you're sitting at the red light. Otherwise, I mean, you could listen to that going out. You could listen to it, just anytime you want to, because it's got a nice little vibe to it. You could dance to it. It's upbeat. Otherwise, Shooting Star, really like I listen to that at the gym, I'll listen to that. You could studying, you want to hear a message, listen to it then. It's pretty, I feel like that one is a little bit more versatile on where you could listen to it. Red Light still is, but it's more, Red Light's more like a
anytime
specified commercial, like a commercial kind of.
Totally.
That's been my thing, like combining commercial but with like actual like organic music.
Yeah, and a pretty good message throughout. Are you gonna be performing either of those songs at the Cinco de Mayo show?
Oh yeah, so Homegrown Music Festival Duluth. I'll be at
Legacy
Glassworks. That's right.
That's right.
Age 15.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
So I'll be doing both of those. I think.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute set.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's the longest set you've ever done?
I think like an hour like straight. I've done about an hour and a half to 2 hours in a night. But so like when I did my mom's cancer benefit, I had this whole show set up and I had this idea, which I still like, but I did like mini sets throughout the night and everyone was on rotation. So people that come there, can come around at any time and will stay at any time because there's a lot of people, that encourage their fans to just come and go with them and they'll just come and go. And, if you're going to be a part of an event, come to an event. Even when I'm coming down here, like to any of the things, I'm staying till as long as I can, unless I have something where the 2.5 hour drive is going to get in the way of me being able to perform at, going back to Duluth if I got something in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm still staying to the, till I can.
Right.
Well, on May 5th, make sure you check it out and stay as long as you can at Legacy Glassworks in Duluth.
Yeah, we got like 20 seconds left. Anything you want to say to anybody?
Just much love. I appreciate everyone tuning in and,
stay motivated.
Yeah, stay motivated. It only gets better from here.
Yeah, we thank you again for giving us your valuable time and giving us your wisdom and giving your fans and listeners a glimpse.
It's a pleasure and a privilege.
Yeah, this flew by. We'll have to have you on again.
Follow him at Motor218. Follow us at DogStar Podcast. This has been DogStar Podcast.
We're out of here.
Got you sitting at the red light. Oh, what you can do at the red light. Red light, opposite of gold. Trying to spend nights with me. Who are you though? I don't know. Seem kinda familiar, maybe might have met before. But the way not good enough, so go and take another road to hit the red light, opposite of gold. Trying to spend nights with me. Who are you though? I don't know. Seem kinda familiar, maybe might have met before. But the way not good enough, so go and take another road to hit the. If my DM's the road, they like driving in the snow. Left on red over and open is me deciding to know. I ain't trying to be told, sure ain't trying to be sold. I'm why I randomly need you up in my life a home. Nothing against you, look inside, you're gonna find your gold. All people got the types, if it ain't right, go find your mode. Someone always think I'm a jerk, I ain't trying to be cold. Unless I know somewhat about you, no time to behold. Come see me close in person, if you trying to be bold. Not online where you might manipulate your style of code. In person ain't so lady like you shady girl of shows. Stop, hit your brakes, that be a sign that I should let you go. Red light, ain't like green or yellow, now your chance go dead like I make the instrumentals. You really thought I was gonna let you play me like a cello, like I'm Jello. Know me, not the one you think I am, won't settle. Hit the red light, opposite of gold. Trying to spend nights with me, who are you though? I don't know. Seem kinda familiar, maybe might have met before. But the way not good enough, so go and take another road to hit the red light, opposite of gold. Trying to spend nights with me, who are you though? I don't know. Seem kinda familiar, maybe might have met before. But the way not good enough, so go and take another road to hit the. Figure looking clean like it belong in a magazine. Could easily be for your green, but I got a screen. Yellow, I still be in between. Red, you won't be seen with me when I hit the scene. Maybe though in your dreams. I like my women sweet when they seducing me. Mess up your first time, might not get 2 or 3. This ain't my first time, so nothing new to me. So many naked women, my life like a nudie beach. Wavy wavy. Never save me. They probably try to play me if ain't trying to lay or pay me. She wanna be with me, oh, she wanna have my baby. Most of them getting to know if lucky, maybe, maybe. I'll be wishing, I'll be waiting. I've been working, yeah, I've been patient. Wherever you are, I'm on my way now. Shooting for the stars, I won't let you down. Wish upon a shooting star. Look at you, that's what you are. Till you gone, really ain't too far. Live alive, really ain't too hard. No job, no clothes, no car, no home, no dough. Made a brand new start. Brand new low, it don't define me. What does have it in my heart? Trouble coming like Noah's Ark. This life sometimes been so bizarre. Broke down, get a brand new park. Giving all I can, this man embark. Drive on, never time to park. Line them up, motor got that spark. Let them all blur it out, remark. Show them all up soon when I'm on the charts. Anyone who wanna roast me, ghost me, mostly bro, but hate me low-key. Sick and tired like crow's feet. Ain't one of those, I'ma hold you oh so closely. Offer me to let people in. Most don't wanna see you win. Never give a damn about your skin. Looking out, then you be my kin. Stay real, I'ma stay your friend. When the fake ones break, I bend. Know a lot, they play pretend. More to go 110%. Each day having no regrets. Each play making moves like chess. Got your back if I digress. Much love and I mean that bless. I'll be wishing, I'll be waiting. I've been working, yeah, I've been patient. Wherever you are, I'm on my way now. Shooting for the stars, I won't let you down. I'll be wishing until I make it. Now I ain't perfect, but I'm upgrading. Wherever you are, wherever you've been, no, it ain't too late to start over again. Friends and family, all those who making neither one happy. Gratitude for your hand in helping my people withstanding. Death and evil amassing, people eager for clapping. Homies, I hope it don't happen. Pray for those in the action, gotta know you a shooting star. Look at you, that's what you are. Even though at times get hard for you, know you gonna make it far. When it get difficult, don't stress. Stand tall, giving it your best. Blast off like a shooting star. Don't forget, that's what you are. Giving them hell, even though we hope to go to heaven a couple times. So been giving herself, forgiving and fail, forgiving and tell. You can make a bear another, make a living and well. Never thinking much of me. Luckily, I ain't agree with that. I kept it going through the city, kinda human I could be. I already heard a lot of people getting better every day, they would agree. Animosity, you got a problem, let it freeze. We can talk about it, make it better, I believe. We ain't gotta get to shooting everybody, please. Don't never y'all stars live and let one piece. Looking at me funny, never even give a D, let alone AMN. Only knowing how to be a me. Genuine in everything I be, and I'm a star. So you, but it's in your own galaxy, let it breathe. I'll be wishing, I'll be waiting. I've been working, yeah, I've been patient. Wherever you are, I'm on my way now. Shooting for the stars, I won't let you down. I'll be wishing until I make it. Now I ain't perfect, but I'm upgrading. Wherever you are, wherever you've been, no, it ain't too late to start over again. I'll be wishing, I'll be waiting. I've been working, yeah, I've been patient. Wherever you are, I'm on my way now. Shooting for the stars, I won't let you down. I'll be wishing until I make it. Now I ain't perfect, but I'm upgrading. Wherever you